What is this Pyrex globe for? It was found by a relative this morning in an old basement. I searched what is written on it, but it doesn't tell more than Pyrex holds a patent. It looks like the remains of a ceramic cap around the narrow opening. I'm thinking it's an antique fire extinguisher. Any ideas? It's an old Pyrex glass toilet tank float, or more likely an animal water trough. When the water level drops, the float drops and lets water in. I did some research and believe this to be from the early 1900s, but glass floats were made till the 1950s. Very unusual and hard to find, since glass floats tended to break or were discarded. What is this small aluminum piston-like device with a torch? We found it in a box in a house we are moving in. The size of the base is 3.5 by 6.5 inches. The height, not including the silicone tube, is 3.5 inches. The glass cylinder appears to have soot inside and a metal rod that can go in and partially out. It does not seem to be a light bulb or anything involving a flame, so not sure why there's soot. However, the object did come with a small glass container with what looks like a torch wick the size of a tea light. What is it for? It's a model Stirling engine, often used in classrooms to demonstrate the principles of energy transfer. It was invented by Scotsman Robert Stirling in 1816 as an industrial prime mover to rival the steam engine, and its practical use was largely confined to low-power domestic applications for over a century. Basically, it's a sealed unit containing air, and by heating the glass tube with the burner, it allows for the cyclic compression and expansion of air at different temperatures to transform heat energy into mechanical work. Yours seems to be missing the drive belt though that connects to the dynamo. What is this leather-encased box with two lenses, button latches, battery-powered electronics, and a mirror and tube inside? It opens on both sides and no markings on the outside. I took the bottom panel off, and there is a motor connected to the inner tube of the thing to rotate it. There are two C battery clips, as well as two barrel plug connectors that are accessible through the eyelets on the case. I'm guessing the dial control is for controlling the speed of the rotation of the tube, but why? Any ideas? It's a double-sided watch winder. The original watch winder was invented by John Hardwood in the 1930s to guarantee prospective buyers that his automatic watch movement worked. It simulates the movement of the wearer's arm to keep automatic or self-winding watches wound when not worn. Many manufacturers still make these watches, and some people own several, which means you need a machine to help with the ones you're not actively wearing. While renovating the ground floor of a Victorian block of flats in England, we found these two glass jars, each containing a cylindrical pot with a plastic lid and handle on the top. The pots are about 20 centimeters tall and feel quite heavy. One had a sticker on it saying it was a porous pot made by Witten. Whoever put these in the wall did so with purpose. They removed some of the brickwork to fit them in behind the skirting board. They were placed into an interior wall just inside the front door. A neighbor thinks it is a gas explosive and needs to be buried, but provides no further explanation. What could be inside these? And most importantly in this case, is it safe to throw them away with normal household waste? Please help. I'm pretty sure those are 19th century battery jars. They may have been used for an internal house bell or signaling system, possibly even for an internal telephone. Some larger houses had servants, and there were bell pushes in rooms to summon them. The power came from such batteries which would need refilling periodically. There may have been bells in the servants' quarters or an indicator panel that showed in which room the button had been pressed. The batteries only needed to supply power when a button was pressed, so they were relatively long-lasting. What is this wooden holder of some kind? It has walnuts inside of it and is about 12 inches tall. I've searched online using the name on the base as well as wooden walnut, and it only comes up with info about people with the name on the object, but nothing about the object itself. I'm not sure if the nuts are actually walnuts. Does anyone have an idea? It's a Brazil nut rattle. The price tag is in cruzeiros, which was the currency of Brazil from 1942 to 1967. So it was probably made during that period. The name, Antonio Pereira dos Santos, is the name of the artisan, and it was made in Belém, in the state of Para, more precisely at Avenida Generalíssimo Deodoro. The number 194 must be the postal code. What is this strange curved table with a copper basin? I'm cleaning an attic, and I uncovered this table with a removable copper basin. My best guess is that it's an ice bucket for drinks, but why copper? It's a 19th century table with a copper planter insert, like something you'd see in a hotel lobby. I have one with the planters at each end. It looks like tin or something on mine, not copper. What is this old foreign note given to me by an antique dealer friend? He can't figure out what it is, so he decided to give it to me as I am collecting antiques. I've been wondering about this thing for a while. Any ideas? It's an old 50-cent banknote from Japan. 50 sen is the equivalent of half a yen. The issue date on the far left says Showa year 13, which is 1938. These were withdrawn from circulation at the end of the war in 1945. What kind of bottle is this chunky piece of sea glass from? I found it on a beach just outside of Boston, very near the airport, and the tide was super low. It's a pale green-blue color and looks like it possibly from a white wine bottle. Any ideas? From a friend that collects and digs up old bottles, the writing says, "This bottle is not to be sold, but remains the sole property of Robert Burnett." It's an English gin bottle from the turn of the 20th century. What are these weird iron nails attached to leather straps with a regular nail on the other side? The iron nails are about 4 to 5 inches long and have no letters or numbers on them. They all have those little twists. The little nails are standard brass-colored 1-inch nails. I found them bunched up when cleaning out a closet in my 250-year-old church. No one working here or attending had any idea, and I haven't found anything via Google. There's a dozen or so of them all tangled up. What could these be? I lived in a colonial house with mullion windows, and I have a bag of these. They are hand-forged sash pins. These were locks that slid into a hole to lock windows. I owned the house, and when we changed out the windows I kept them. What is this thing I've seen with a Victorian patio set at historic Spanish Point in Florida? It's about 3 feet tall and appears to have flakes of something like ashes on the bottom. Is it for fireplace tools? What is it exactly for? Please tell us in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.